Blah freaking blah. What's going on, guys? It's Eric, blah freaking blah, with a quick tidbit. A question. Are you ready for RIRI Williams to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Now, before everybody panics, I don't have anything concrete here. This is a gut feeling. I've been postulating for a while now. If you've seen my other Marvel videos, you know that I've been speculating that a lot of what Marvel Comics is doing now, and doing poorly, I might add, is trying to set up a foundation for future movies. It's the only thing that makes sense to me as to why they've been abandoning the core characters the way they have, and trying to way too quickly establish these new characters and hammering them home, despite the fact that their sales numbers are pretty abysmal. They're not taking. People don't want it. Now, I don't want to get into the whys as to why people don't want it, because that is a subject all unto itself. But with the introduction of Miss Marvel into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it pretty much confirms to me that this is what they were wanting to do. Establish new characters in the comics and leap them onto the screen. So, according to TheWrap.com, Robert Downey Jr. did an interview in Australia. And this article is called, Robert Downey Jr. Wants to Hang Up His Iron Man Armor Before It's Embarrassing. It goes on to say, 3 Golden Globe wins and 2 Oscar nominations aside, Robert Downey Jr. is known by most as the superhero with the red suit of armor, Iron Man. But Downey is now wondering if it's time to call it a day and move on. Everyone says to me it's like a glove that fits so well, Downey told News Corp Australian Network this month. I have to start over every time, but I'm starting over with a pretty solid base. I just never want to blow it for the last 6 or 7 Marvel movies I have done by dropping the ball, because I decided to go and do it one more time. I just want to hang up my jersey before it's embarrassing. Goes on to talk about how much money the Iron Man series made, which is a lot, and Downey says, it's a cyclical thing. I could have said when the first Avengers came out, you know what, it's never going to get any better than that, everybody stop. But to me, it's always about people and opportunities like the Avengers directors Anthony and Joe Russo's, who I adore. Despite being unsure of his future within the MCU, Downey does appear in Spider-Man Homecoming, mostly because he liked what the film's director John Watts pulled off in his low-budget thriller Cop Car starring Kevin Bacon. That's a movie I never watched but always intended to. It's in my I finally watch list for when I finally watch it. That creative respect carried over when he finally sat down to read what was planned for Tony Stark in Homecoming. He says, I felt like we were literally back in the writer's room on the first Iron Man, Downey said. So there was a real sense of homecoming towards this, not experimental, because there is so much more data now and the process is so much more streamlined, but I didn't feel like I was being asked to just fit in somewhere. They wanted us to bring our own little thing, which is good. They had a plan, which Kevin Feige and et al. At Marvel Cinematic Universe, Marvel Studios, I keep saying that, Marvel Studios has done so far. They really know how to hone it in now, and they have a plan for when characters show up. So, with that said, now, granted, this doesn't necessarily mean that Downey Jr. is out within the next few years. Clearly, he is in Spider-Man coming up. He is in the next 2 Avengers films. He said he doesn't really want to do an Iron Man 4. And, I mean, look, there's no reason for him to do an Iron Man 4 with all the money that he's making in Captain America Civil War and Spider-Man and the Avengers films. You know, there's really not much of a reason to make another Iron Man film right now. I'd like to see one, but there doesn't have to be one. Follow? But even if his time isn't yet to come, to me, like I've said previously again, that I think the Avengers, this next Avengers movie or series, is a good stopping point for the current Marvel Cinematic Universe. And when they get to Phase 4, it does seem like good relaunch territory. It seems like, you know, the Infinity War is going to be a good cusp, a big grand finale, if you will, for what they've built up till now. And it makes sense they'd want to start off a little smaller and go forward from there. So the question remains, what happens with Downey Jr.? I mean, this could be, he's in contract negotiations right now, and he's kind of putting it out there on the side that, yeah, you know what, maybe I'm done. And that's a common tactic for guys to get a little bit of a pay bump. Hey, come on back, we'll pay you, but, it's fine. It's fine. He brings a lot of value to the movies. I don't fault the man for getting money out of it. I mean, he's getting gobs of money. But at some point, he is going to have to hang up his jersey, like he says. And what happens then? I postulate with the appearance of Miss Marvel that they are going to try to shoehorn in a Riri Williams. I just am. I really, or Amadeus Cho is the Hulk. I mean, all these, I don't see Jane Foster being the Thor in the films. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't see Natalie Portman coming back around in 5 or 8 years. Maybe she would. Who knows? And maybe I'm wrong. I could be. I don't think that I am, but we'll see. And it's Miss Marvel's presence that really solidified that's the angle they're going to take, because Miss Marvel's she's not a core character. She's one of those characters that Marvel's been trying to push the past few years and establish. And they got her in. Now, it could be that they got her in so early to the point before Marvel was really realizing that these characters were not taking. But can you imagine a Squirrel Girl movie? Or America? It just puts ice in my gut thinking about it. I'm see, the thing is, the current talent at Marvel Studios are so good that I think they're probably going to do Miss Marvel well. I think they're going to. And I think it may help boost the Marvel book sales. Maybe. But it didn't do a lot for Guardians of the Galaxy, and Guardians of the Galaxy are very well received. Now, I don't know if that's because I don't read the Guardians of the Galaxy, so I don't know if the stories just suck. Or, I don't know why the books don't sell, honestly. If any of you guys let me know, are the books good and they just don't sell, they haven't found their market, or, what's going on? To me, yeah, I really need to do a video about the newsstand thing, because I think that's where a lot of the problem is coming from nowadays as far as comic book sales. But the point being, do you agree with me that this is where Marvel's trying to go? Are you open to this idea? Or do you think that perhaps when Downey Jr. hangs it up, Iron Man hangs it up? Because they've done a great job so far of introducing all these new characters that I didn't care about. Like, I know who Thor was, but I was never really a big Thor fan. And I watched Thor just because I wanted to see what Marvel Studios was doing. I was blown away by it. I'm a much bigger fan of Thor now, at least cinematically speaking. And I'd be open to him being in a book. I never did read the Straczynski run, but I need to get to that. That's like in my stack of books to buy. And that's a big stack. Yeah. Support my Patreon now so I can help, so I can go to the store and help my local comic shop by buying $1,000 worth of books a month. I don't have a Patreon, just FYI. But the point being is they've done a really good job. The Guardians of the Galaxy, I didn't know who they were. I mean, look at that. They do a marvelous job of setting up these characters and making them just really relatable and likable and just getting them on the screen. So it's not that Marvel can't establish obscure characters for a general audience. They can. They've proven they can. And that's honestly what worries me. That's what makes me think they're going to go full tilt boogie on the new SJW line of Marvel characters. They want that. I mean, these creators want that studio money. They do. They want it. And I know they're vying for that Squirrel Girl movie or that Hellcat movie. And God help us. God help us. Anyway, that's my thoughts on. That's my quick thoughts on Robert Downey Jr.'s announcement that he's looking. He's kind of eyeballing hanging up the jersey, as it were. So what do you think? Should Iron Man just step out of the picture? Should they just let that lie for a few years and just keep introducing new characters? And when I say new characters, what I mean is established characters in the Marvel universe that haven't been put on screen yet, that aren't the current crop. And who would you like to see on screen? Post your comments down below and let me know what you think and who you'd like to see. And or should it be a reboot? Should they reboot Iron Man? Should they reboot the Marvel Cinematic Universe? I think that they've established it so well. I personally don't see a reboot. I know I've said before that maybe a reboot's the only way, but maybe the real way is to just have certain characters retire for a good length of time, and after a good amount of time has passed, then reestablish them, or have them have quality proteges. I don't know. Anyway, guys, that's my thoughts. Let me know what you think, and if you like this video, please hit the like button, and subscribe, and share with anybody you know that would like it. I hope to see you on the next one. Thanks, guys. Oh, and I completely forgot to mention, I watched like I said, I've subscribed to Diversity in Comics thanks to your guys' recommendations. Some of you recommended that channel to me. And he has a brilliant idea. To me, it's a brilliant idea. He had the brilliant idea to salvage the Riri Williams character by making her a villain. And I think that could actually be a really compelling way to redeem her character, and would be a decent thing to see on screen. Of course, it could, they tried that angle with Rocky 5. It didn't work out so good, so I'll see if I can't post that link in the description box. If I forget to do that, holler at me, let me know, and I'll put it in there. Or just, Google works for everybody. Just put it in the search bar and type it in for yourself. Diversity in Comics, and the Riri Williams being a villain thing. I think it would be a really smart turn at this point to make the protege turn bad, and I think it could be interesting. But let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you next time.